3 people dead aboard a cruise ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and within days this deadly virus had already spread to passengers from 23 different countries. And if you knew that this virus has actually been present in Indonesia since 1991, discovered in rats across 29 provinces, including Jakarta and Yogyakarta, and because this virus can kill without any clear early symptoms, mimicking a common flu, before suddenly causing your lungs to collapse within hours. And what's even more alarming is that the fatality rate can reach 50%. And to this day, there is no medicine or vaccine. Could Hantavirus become the next pandemic? More deadly than COVID-19? So stay with us until the end. 3 people dead, a cruise ship stranded in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and more than 140 passengers from 23 different countries trapped on board. This isn't a thriller film plot. This is a real event that unfolded in May 2026 and is still ongoing. The cruise ship MV Hondius departed from Ushuaia, Argentina, one of the southernmost cities on Earth, on 1st April, May 2026. Its destination, Antarctica and several remote islands in the South Atlantic. But that journey turned into a nightmare when passengers began falling ill one by one. High fever, difficulty breathing, and several of them deteriorated with alarming speed. The first victim died on 11 April. Their body was removed from the ship at St. Helena. Their spouse followed, passing away 2 days later in a Johannesburg hospital. A third victim followed shortly after. The cause? Hantavirus, the Andes variant, the most dangerous strain within this virus family. I'll admit, when I first read this story, I felt a chill run down my spine. Not because the case numbers were large, but because of one fact that kept me up at night. This virus has been living amongst us far longer than we ever realized, and most of us have never once heard its name. The CDC, America's leading health authority, has classified this outbreak as a Level 3 emergency. The WHO has deployed an international response team, and passengers who disembarked before the outbreak was identified have already returned to their home countries, including the United States and several European nations, carrying a potential for spread that cannot yet be predicted. What makes this situation even more alarming? The passengers of MV Hondius came from 23 different countries, meaning when they returned home, they carried the potential for transmission to every corner of the world. Some passengers had already disembarked before the outbreak was even identified. They had already flown home, already reunited with family, already returned to normal routines. Meanwhile, the incubation period of this virus can reach 42 days. This is no longer the problem of a single ship. This has become a global problem. But who exactly is Hantavirus? And why is a virus that almost nobody has ever heard of suddenly sending the entire world into a panic? Hantavirus is not a new virus. It existed long before COVID-19, long before SARS, and long before most of us were even born. The name Hanta is taken from the Hantan River in South Korea, and where the virus was first scientifically identified in 1978 by a Korean virologist named Ho Wang Lee. But in reality, this virus has existed far longer than that, a fact that genuinely left me speechless. There is strong evidence that Hantavirus has been killing humans for thousands of years. Some researchers even suspect that the mysterious outbreak that killed thousands of soldiers during the Korean War in the early 1950s, marked by strange symptoms of fever and kidney failure, was caused by Hantavirus. Military doctors at the time were baffled. No weapons, no poison, yet soldiers kept falling. Hantavirus is a large family of viruses carried by rodents, rats, shrews, and their relatives. Each type of Hantavirus typically has its own specific host. And here's what's striking: the rats that carry this virus are usually completely healthy. They are simply carriers, silent carriers who have no idea how dangerous they are. There are dozens of Hantavirus strains worldwide, but the most dangerous fall into 2 major groups. First, HFRS, hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome, predominantly found across Asia and Europe. It attacks the kidneys and blood vessels. Fatality rate 1 to 15%. This is the strain most commonly found across Southeast Asia. Second, HPS, Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. Found in the Americas, it attacks the lungs. Far more lethal, Fatality rate can reach 50%, and this is the strain found aboard the MV Hondius. Two strains of the same virus family, yet with vastly different consequences, depending on where in the world you happen to be. And this is what makes Hantavirus a threat that is difficult to dismiss, and to this day there is no globally approved vaccine and no specific antiviral medication proven to be effective. The only protection is prevention, and prevention begins with understanding who the enemy is, how it operates, and why it is more dangerous than most people realize. All right, this is the part you need to pay very close attention to, because this is what makes Hantavirus truly dangerous, and it's almost never discussed. Hantavirus kills in an extraordinarily deceptive way. It doesn't overwhelm you immediately. In the first phase, the symptoms are almost identical to a common flu, fever, dizziness, muscle aches, particularly in the thighs, hips, and lower back. Perhaps mild nausea. You would almost certainly think it was just a cold or exhaustion, and that is precisely the trap. The incubation period for Hantavirus can range from 4 to 42 days after exposure. So you could be exposed today, yet not fall ill until a month later. And throughout that entire incubation period, you have no idea, no symptoms. You continue working, continue seeing people, continue living normally, while the virus quietly multiplies inside you. Then suddenly, within hours, your condition can deteriorate drastically. For HPS, the strain found aboard MV Hondius, here is what happens inside your body. The virus attacks the capillaries of the lungs. The capillary walls begin to leak. Fluid floods into the lungs. Your lungs begin drowning from within. Breathing becomes increasingly difficult, progressively worse with every passing moment. Blood pressure collapses. The heart begins to fail. And without immediate intervention, mechanical ventilation in an ICU, the chances of survival become very slim. What makes this even more terrifying? There is no specific treatment for Hantavirus, no antiviral medication, no vaccine. The only hope is supportive care in the ICU, ventilators, intravenous fluids, intensive monitoring, and even that is no guarantee. The fatality rate for HPS can reach 38 to 50%, meaning out of 10 people infected, 4 to 5 of them will die. Compare that to COVID-19, whose global fatality rate sat at around 1 to 2%. But there is one more fact that genuinely stunned me, and I believe this is the most critical thing we've discussed. The Andes variant is the only hantavirus strain capable of human-to-human transmission. Every other hantavirus strain can only spread from rats to humans, but the Andes variant can jump from person to person, through close contact, through respiratory droplets, through shared utensils. And that is precisely why a single cruise ship became an outbreak cluster that sent the entire world into panic. Now the question you've all been waiting for, and how dangerous is Hantavirus for us here in Asia and Southeast Asia? Let me tell you a fact that might genuinely surprise you. Hantavirus has been present in Southeast Asia not since yesterday, but for decades. And all that time, this virus has been living quietly around us, with very few people aware of it. Research across Southeast Asia has confirmed the presence of Hantavirus in rat populations in Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, the Philippines, and other nations across the region. The most commonly found strains are the Sol virus and HFRS variant that attacks the kidneys, and the Serang virus, also identified across various parts of Southeast Asia. And this is what leaves me shaking my head. Many hantavirus cases across Southeast Asia have never been correctly diagnosed. Why? Because the symptoms, fever, back pain, kidney problems, are extremely easy to mistake for other more common diseases such as dengue fever, leptospirosis, or typhoid. Without specific testing, hantavirus is almost impossible to distinguish from those illnesses, and Southeast Asia's geographical and demographic conditions create a particularly dangerous combination for hantavirus transmission. First, extremely high rat populations. In the densely populated major cities of Southeast Asia where sanitation remains uneven, rats are not simply wild animals living in forests. They live in markets, rubbish dumps, drains, and rice fields, in direct daily contact with millions of people. Second, increasingly frequent flooding. Every time flooding occurs in Southeast Asia is one of the most flood-prone regions on Earth. Rats are driven from their nests and scatter everywhere. Their urine and feces mix with floodwater, Humans exposed to floodwater without protection face a direct risk of infection. Third, climate change continuously reshaping habitats. Southeast Asia is one of the regions most severely impacted by climate change. Rising temperatures, increasingly extreme rainfall, and ongoing deforestation. All of it is pushing rats closer and closer to human settlements. A fact that sends a genuine chill through me. Scientists estimate that the actual number of hantavirus cases occurring across Southeast Asia is far greater than what is officially recorded. This is not a rare disease. It is a frequently misdiagnosed one. Alright, the real question. Could hantavirus become the next pandemic? The honest answer, not necessarily. But that doesn't mean we can afford to be complacent. The WHO has currently assessed the global risk of the MV Hondius outbreak as low, and indeed hantavirus has several characteristics that distinguish it from COVID-19 in terms of pandemic potential. COVID-19 could spread from person to person with alarming ease, even from people who showed no symptoms. Hantavirus, for the vast majority of its strains, only spreads from rats to humans, and even the Andes variant, capable of human-to-human transmission, spreads in a limited way, requiring close and sustained contact. Its transmission index is far lower than COVID-19, but there is a scenario that keeps epidemiologists concerned. Climate change continues to reshape rat habitats. They are spreading into new territories, encountering new human populations with zero immunity, and the potential to mutate into a more transmissible variant is always present. Remember, COVID-19 was also initially considered an ordinary virus before it exploded into a pandemic that changed the world. And this is the lesson we must carry forward. We cannot wait for something to explode before we act. There are several things you should do right now. Avoid contact with rats and their droppings. Do not wade through floodwater without protection. If you are a waste collector, farmer, construction worker, or regularly engage in outdoor activities, you fall into a high-risk group. Wear a mask when cleaning warehouses, attics, or any space that may show signs of rat activity. And if you develop a high fever accompanied by muscle aches following outdoor activity, why do not dismiss it? See a doctor immediately. Healthcare systems across much of Southeast Asia still need significantly improved diagnostic capacity for hantavirus. Because without accurate diagnosis, we will never truly know how large this threat actually is. So in my view, hantavirus is not a threat that should send us into the kind of panic we experienced with COVID-19, but it is a stark warning that there are many dangerous viruses already living around us and silently. Without our awareness and our preparedness to face them remains far from adequate. The question now, is Southeast Asia truly ready to face the next outbreak threat, or are we still waiting for something to explode before we act? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this video with people who need to know, and don't forget to subscribe, because there are still many important stories yet to be told. See you in the next one.